Hi, in this video we're going to have a look at what may happen to people born under the sign Leo, which is the fifth sign of the zodiac. It's a fire sign, just like Aries is a fire sign and Sagittarius is a fire sign as well. Aries is the first sign, this is the second, Taurus is the second, Gemini the third, the fourth is Cancer, and now the fifth one is Leo. Now, what is going to happen on an astrological point of view according to the transits of some planets? I think that 2020 is going to be a very interesting year for Leo people, especially the second half of it, as we'll find out in this video. Now, as you can see here, this is 2019. We are still in 2019. Today is the 28th of August 2019. So Jupiter is in Sagittarius. Now, I've just said that Sagittarius was a fire sign, and as such it is in a compatible relationship with Leo, because all fire signs are compatible, and all earth signs the same, all water signs as well. So that means that Leo people have been experiencing some interesting evolution in their lives in various areas according to their project, to their situation, and whatever they wish to obtain in life. Now, Jupiter represents evolution and also a certain amount of luck that may have also had an influence in the lives of Sagittarian, Leo people. Sagittarians, yes, but Leo people as well. Now, according to that sign here, this one is relating to anything to do with creativity, love, relationship on a private point of view, and anything that can also bring happiness, joy, satisfaction, such as holidays, travel, money, and all sorts of nice things actually may have been influenced by and are still influenced by the transit of Jupiter in Sagittarius. That transit is going to end on the 3rd of December this year. So until the 3rd of December this year, I would suggest that you take all the opportunities that will come forward to you and use them to progress and to achieve what you may be aiming at in 2020, because everything that you will do in 2019 until the 3rd of December will have a very determining influence in 2020, as we will find out. From the 3rd of December onwards then, Jupiter transits in Capricorn. But you see, in Capricorn there is there is already two planets, Saturn and Pluto, and they're drawn in green, and that line here linking to the sign Leo, from Capricorn to Leo, is also a green line. A green line means that there is something to gain from the influence of the planets concerned, but there will also be an effort to make in order to obtain what the planets are there to bring eventually. Now, this is happening in the sixth area of life, according to that first sign, Leo, which would be the first one, the second one, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. And the sixth sign from Leo is relating to anything to do with work. So it is the work that you do, your activity, your professional activity, and anything that you do also to earn money. And also it is relating to health. So that green line is indicating that since Pluto is in Capricorn, which is since 2008, that's a long time ago, over 10 years ago. Now, this transit in Capricorn is going to last until 2024-25. It's a very long transit because that planet is very slow. It takes 248 years for Pluto to travel around the zodiac. So the fact that Saturn is now in Capricorn, which has been the case since the 21st of December 2017, so the whole of 2018, Saturn was in Capricorn, and this year it is still in Capricorn, of course, and it will remain in Capricorn in 2020, although it is going to change sign on the 23rd of March, but it will come back in Capricorn on the 3rd of July because of a retrograding movement of the planet, which is, of course, from our point of view on Earth. So this configuration is very important. It means that because Jupiter represents expansion, evolution, progress, and so on, whatever hard work, which is represented by Saturn, whatever you have been able to get rid of, which is represented by Pluto, or whatever you may have been able to accept, because in the past, perhaps not a so distant past, you may have faced a situation in which you felt that something was taken from you or stolen from you even, and that may have left a bitter feeling inside. So coming to terms with that will help you from the moment Jupiter transits in Capricorn to use actually all that experience that you had since perhaps since 2008, but most probably since the end of 2017. Then things are going to be much more interesting for you in terms of evolution and progress, and more especially in the area of work and health, because these two areas are linked together. Because if you are not in good health, you cannot work properly, and if you don't have a job, after a certain time it may make you sick. So health and work are linked together. Whatever happens in Capricorn, according to the sign Leo, affects their lives as far as work is concerned. So whatever difficulties you may have gone through since Saturn is in Capricorn may, because you have your own free will, so you do what you can, you do what you like, but the opportunity will be there from early December this year to change things, to make things much more interesting and valuable in terms of success, which is, if it is what you want, this is most probably what you're going to get. And that means that you may also get a better position at work or something like that. And it would be interesting for you, or it would be advised actually, to do this this job of getting that maybe that better situation at work during the time Jupiter is in Sagittarius, because while it is in Sagittarius, it is serving you and making you more valuable also to other people, and especially to the people you work with or work for. And that will also have a determining influence as soon as Jupiter enters in Capricorn. This is a transit that is going to last for 12 months, one year, until December 2020. So it's quite interesting also to link that transit here to the transit that occurred 12 years ago, so that's in 2008. Jupiter was transiting in Capricorn. What happened then? Were you able to progress in life? Did you do something that may have now in 2020 a determining influence and an interesting influence in your life as far as progress and evolution, of course, is concerned? Another planet may become quite something to watch for. Somehow, it is Uranus. Somehow, Uranus being in Taurus since the 6th of March this year, 2019, it is going to remain in Taurus for about 7 years. It is a very slow planet as well. It takes 84 years for Uranus to travel around the zodiac. So it's probably the first time it happened, unless you are over 84 years or around 84 years of age. But you see, there is a red line here between that earth sign and that fire sign. But there is a blue line between that earth sign and this one. Capricorn is an earth sign as well. So Uranus is favoring changes. And it's actually the planet that may help you do, or perhaps even force you do what you have to do to favor that change, the drastic change which is represented by Uranus. Now, Uranus is transiting the 10th sign from your sign. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, which is linked to your personal ambitions, to your status in life. So what do you want to achieve will be determined by your ability to accept and to deal with the notion of change. What do you have to change in your life to make it the success that you want it to be? I can't answer that question. You can. You only can do it. I could help you in this situation if you think that it may be useful, but in that case I would need to have a look at your chart, your birth chart, and the position of all the planets and so on around that chart according to this Uranus and to those planets here in Capricorn. Because that configuration here, this configuration, is very nice. It is a configuration that is going to enhance everyone's ability and desire to change for the better. So, does it mean that 2020 is going to be a fantastic year? Probably not for everyone, for sure, but it will be a very interesting year for Leo-born people, and that will be enhanced by other planets, as we'll find out again a bit later on in this video. Now, to help the energy of Uranus, to help the energy of Jupiter, Saturn and Pluto, there is Neptune. Because as you can see, Neptune, which is in Pisces, and it's been in Pisces since 2012, is nicely linked to Uranus in Taurus, to Jupiter, Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn. Earth and water. Now, water mixes very easily with earth, and it makes a mixture that is quite useful to build, to construct, to make things, you know. So in that regard, that type of configuration is showing that if you put your, I was going to say your sixth sense, maybe your intuition, your inspiration to work, and if you listen to your inner voice, it is most probably linked to a good influence of Neptune in your life. Neptune represents how we can feel things without having to put words to what we feel. It's just something that's inside, you know, or perhaps something that's around, like in the invisible world, in the astral plane, or maybe in the spiritual, on the spiritual plane. In any case, Neptune is linked in Pisces to anything to do with money and the way you deal with money, with the banks and whoever and whatever. And the sign Pisces does not represent the tendency to acquire material things, but rather an interest in anything that is not material, that is spiritual, that is perhaps artistic. So it goes down to the senses, to your good senses. And if it does enhance your intuition, you should use it if you want to invest money, for example, or if you have an opportunity to make your potential, your financial potential to grow in 2020, you will definitely be helped by this configuration. But you see, there is a green line here again that links Neptune to your sign, so to your energy of life, because if you were born under that sign Leo, it's because the sun in your chart is in Leo. It was aligned with that sign when you were born. So that's why we call it also the sun sign, actually, not only the zodiac sign. So when there is that type of configuration here, which we call an inconjunct in astrology, there is a tendency to doubt. So if you're not sure of yourself, if you are not sure of what you feel, what you think, or what you believe, it will be difficult for you to get concrete result from this configuration here in Capricorn, which is the earth sign. And it will also perhaps make it more difficult for you to engage yourself in the change that is represented by Uranus, because you may get scared, you know, and you may think, okay, I wouldn't mind to change, but I'm not sure what I'm going to get after that change. So I know what I'm leaving behind, but I don't really know what I'm going to find wherever I go or whatever I choose to do to change my life. Well, you will be the only one to decide once again. But if I can help, don't hesitate. Visit my website and, you know, follow the links, perhaps just to ask a question or to request a complete forecast, and I will be happy to help you in any way I can. We have talked about the slow planets. Jupiter, 12 years to travel around. Pluto, 248 years to travel around. Saturn, 29.5 years to travel around. Neptune, 165 years to travel right around the zodiac, and Uranus, 84 years. Now we're going to talk about a faster planet, because fast planets are considered in astrology as being able to create particular events relating to the slower influence of some other planets. So from the 4th of January, I think it is, we'll check it out here to make sure. Yeah, 4th of January, Mars transits in Sagittarius. Now, Sagittarius, as we have talked about it earlier on, is a fire sign just like Leo. So there is a blue line. The link between those two is very nice. It means that from the 4th of January 2020 until it will last until the 17th of February 2020, Mars will transit here in Sagittarius, and it will most probably make it much easier for you to act. Mars represents your ability to act and react, to fight for your rights, to defend yourself, to combat, and to impose yourself in whatever you want to do, or in front of whoever you need to, to impose yourself. Anyway, it is transiting house now. The fifth sign from yours, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fifth sign is relating to creativity, the arts, and also love and luck. And all the good things that may be derived from life are also linked to that sign Sagittarius in your life. So Mars here will give you the incentive and the motivation to act according to the situation in which you are in order to get the most out of it. And that should really help you, because it is the first month of the year. And because of that, it is also the time that we choose very often to make good resolutions. And we say, this year, for example, I wish I'm going to get this. I will try to do this. I will try to achieve that, to get there, or whatever. And during that period of time, because Mars is going to be in very nice relationship with your sign, you will feel that you can do it. And you should, put the emphasis on what you need to do. Action will be the key word to success in your life in 2020. And we'll find out a bit later on how strong that is going to be during the second half of that year. From the 17th of February onwards until the 31st of March, 2020 of course, Mars will transit here in Capricorn. And we've talked about Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto in Capricorn, right? Now, because Mars represents your ability to act and react according to, what needs to be done, when it does need to be done, then during that period of time you will have to do very important things. You will be requested to do very important things, to act in a very important manner, to make sure that what needs to be left behind, perhaps, to be abandoned, to be destroyed, why not, is done. And to make sure as well that after that, you will be able to build from the ashes of what's been burned, perhaps, or what's been destroyed, represented by Pluto and the influence of Saturn, which is quite interesting. And also because what you are going to do then, what you are going to have to do, will determine the quality of the evolution and success that you will derive from your action. So there is this is a very important moment of the year, because at the same time, as you see, everything is in green here, and there's a green line, that green line again linking to your sign. Now that means that perhaps you will doubt again, because that green line, the inconjunct, is representing our tendency to sort of don't do the things that we should be doing right now, but rather leave the things for later, saying, well, we'll talk about it tomorrow, or maybe next week, next month, next year. No, it will be too late. You will have to do what needs to be done immediately and not wait. No, you will have to assume your responsibilities during that period of time, because what you will do will come as a plus when, of course, your situation can derive benefits from the actions that you will have during that period of time. So what needs to be done will have to be done. And that will help a lot, because what you are going to do then, the efforts you're going to make will pay off for sure, and especially during the second half of the year, as we will find out a little later. Then you see, I've drawn Mars in red. It is a red planet. And Saturn in red as well. Why? Because it's going to create an opposition with your sign when it's in Aquarius. It will start to transit in Aquarius on the 31st of March. That's for Mars. And Saturn will start to transit in Aquarius on the 23rd of March, 8 days before. But Mars is very much faster than Saturn, so it will catch up with Saturn very quickly. As soon as Mars enters in Aquarius, it will come in conjunction with Saturn. Now, right, it is a red line, and this is drawn in red, so it means danger. It means a warning. Be careful. Don't do things too hastily. Try to use the brake pedal as well as the accelerator. Now, the accelerator is represented by Mars, and the brake pedal is represented by Saturn. Now, when both pedals are on top of one another, it makes it very difficult to drive a car without having any problems. So while this conjunction lasts, the best thing for you to do is not to do anything. Just let go and just wait until Mars takes off and goes away from the conjunction with Saturn. Otherwise, early in April, there could be a misunderstanding and an error or mistake that you may make, and that mistake may have, more or less long-lasting repercussions. Be careful, because as I mentioned about the accelerator and the brake pedal, if you are not using correctly your ability to act and your ability to wait before you act, you won't know exactly what to do, when to do it, how to do it, and you may waste time. And when you have wasted so much time, you will perhaps speed up to try and catch up with the time that you've lost, but then you will aggravate all the risks that you may be taking by accelerating too much. And that's if you are driving a car, of course, but that's in life in general. And it may be in your professional life, because that's occurring in and around the sixth sector, but it's also in your relationship life. So you may lose passions much more quickly during that period of time. And that's going to last for about 3 weeks until Mars moves away from Saturn. And it will take the three first weeks of April, during which you should be careful not to overdo anything, not to wait too long, not to act too quick, and so on and so forth. So the best for you, perhaps, would be to take a holiday and take it easy, and things should be all right. Because while Mars remains in Aquarius until the 15th of May, then anything that you can do for other people, that on the private relationship as well as on other types of relationship, Mars will make you more adventurous and more generous, more active for other people, which may be good for you, of course. But don't forget that you exist too. So don't do too much for other people and less for yourself. Otherwise, at one stage, you will find that you are perhaps being somehow cheated by your own self or by someone else. And that may be not very nice, not a very nice feeling to have. Then Mars is going to transit in Pisces. and it's going to join with Neptune, which is in Pisces here. I've drawn them in green again because of that green line in conjunct. Now Mars may be very useful to make some important decisions then according to what you feel is right or wrong. It may be helpful also to make a decision to change. That's according to the influence of Uranus, as we have talked about it earlier on. And there also will be a positive influence on Jupiter and Pluto, meaning that regeneration and transforming yourself, transforming your life, and the evolution, the progress and the success that may stem from these attitudes that you may have and decisions that you may make will have a very positive influence. But because of that green line again, you may not be sure of yourself. And actually, if you are not so sure about what you should do, how you should do it, when you should do it, and so on, don't do anything once again. It's just the same, or it's not as strong, but it's nearly as strong as when Mars was in conjunction with Saturn early in Aquarius. Now, in Pisces, it is affecting the area of money. As we've seen earlier, you have to be careful also if you have to make a decision about money, or if you want to get involved in a financial scheme, or if you want to invest money, or if you want to borrow money, don't do it too fast and too hastily during that period of time. And if you borrow money, or if you lend money rather, don't do it just because the person to whom you may lend that money is someone you trust, because you may be also deceived or disappointed by the deal that you may make with such a person. So you need to be very careful during that period of time. Mars represents action and reaction. Now, Neptune represents what you feel, what you think, what you believe. Neptune can represent a presumption that you have about someone or something. And Mars represents your ability to react to that presumption or intuition or whatever. But because you will do it too quickly, maybe too strongly, and maybe perhaps too aggressively, then you will jeopardize the relationship itself, but also you may make it more difficult for you to deal with anything that has a financial connotation to it. So be careful during that period of time. Don't invest unwisely. If you need to invest money, just wait a little until Mars leaves this sign, Pisces, which will happen on the 29th of June. From the 29th of June, then, Mars will transit in Aries. There you are. Now, I didn't draw it in red because, knowing it's a red planet, I drew it in blue because Aries is a fire sign, and being a fire sign, it is nicely linked to your sign, which is also a fire sign. Therefore, while Mars remains in Aries, you will be much more efficient. You will also be much more reactive, active, and you will somehow need to be in action, involved in some kind of activity, whatever it may be. Now, this location here, according to your sign, represents your life in society. It represents what is legal, what is philosophical, what is moral, and also it represents your interest for other countries, long distance travel, for studies as well. Now, when Mars transits in Aries, it's always good for you. And it happens every 2 years. Mars takes 2 years to travel around the zodiac. That's why we call it a fast planet, as I said earlier. Now, while it is in Aries, it serves you. It makes you more reactive, more spontaneous, and more efficient in the way you do things in general. So if you need to get involved in something important and legally, perhaps officially in any case, then you can do it during that period of time. But Mars in Aries is not going to transit for 6 weeks like it's been transiting for 6 weeks here in Pisces, in Aquarius, in Capricorn, and so on. No, Mars is going to transit in Aries for 6 months. The half of the year will see Mars remain in that area of the zodiac, which is the sign Aries. So it means that during that half a year, you will be served. You will be much more efficient, as I said earlier, and much more motivated in a good way to do what you need to do in order to get to where you want to get. Whatever it is, your project, your situation, your needs, any kind of project that you may have, the objectives that you want to reach, will be favored and made much easier to reach and to obtain, because Mars will be in good configuration with your sign. Your sign represents your vital energy, your vital force, and that will be enhanced by the energy of Mars, which is the god of war. So if you need to go to war to defend yourself or to impose your own right or expose your rights in order to defend yourself in a situation, whatever it may be, in an official sort of way, then Mars will be a great help for you for sure. And that's not going to be all. For 6 months, I cannot talk about the 6 months here on this video. If you need more information about the transit, don't hesitate to contact me through the website, and I will be happy to help. As I said earlier, it is my work and my mission, and I'm quite willing, to do so, to help you in any way I can. Now, we are going to talk about another planet, which is the little sister, as we call it sometimes, of the Earth, Venus. Venus is going to transit in Leo in your sign. It's going to transit in Leo from the 7th of September until the 3rd of October. And you see in Leo it's going to be in good relationship with Mars, because Mars will still be in Aries, of course, at that time. And Venus, on a general point of view, always brings more happiness, joy, and the beautiful things of life are represented by Venus: food, love. Venus is the goddess of love. So the fact that it transits your sign, which happens once a year, is good to know, because during that period of time you will be more lucky. And luck may play a very important part in what you want to achieve, what you want to get, what you want to deal with, what you have to deal with, and all the solutions that you need to bring to some problems that you may have. During this 3 weeks, or about 3 weeks, here it's just under 1 month of that transit of Venus in your sign, you will be very much favored by life in general. You have more charm, more charisma, and your energy, your vibration, your magnetism will be stronger. So you will be felt better by other people, and you will be seen as someone more sympathetic, and you will be also more sympathetic to other people and more open-minded, more open to do things with other people and so on. So it's like a ray of sunshine that is going to affect in a very nice way your life during that period of time. And anything that may be going wrong will seem to somehow quiet down during that period of time. And it will be a period of time not to use just to sit down and enjoy a peace of mind, but to use it to make some important moves, for example, or some important interview if you need to make an interview for a job, for example, or anything that you need to do that is a little bit sensitive and not so easy usually will be made more easy during that period of time. So don't hesitate. Use the energy, the good and lovable energy of Venus to make your life better, because what you will get then during that short period of time may have much more long-lasting repercussions, perhaps forever. Just imagine you win the lotto or the lottery, then it may change your life. You see, we've talked about a change, a great change. So maybe you'll have much more luck during that period of time. So use what I'm telling you now and try your luck. Thanks for watching this video. As I said earlier, I'm here if you need me to help you in any way I can. Just visit my website, which is, written here, ablasastrology.com, and I will react very quickly. I'm very reactive myself, but I'm not a Leo, I'm a Gemini. Bye for now, and all the best for 2020, especially the second half of the year.